When I first started working in the jewellery industry over 15 years ago, one of the very first collections of jewellery I fell in love with was this collection of inlay jewellery using natural materials called Kabana. So we're here in Albuquerque, New Mexico in fall to get to know Stavros Eleftheriou, the owner and designer of Kabana jewellery, and his family and his collection a little better. I was so thrilled to visit the Kabana headquarters because I've seen this building. It's an iconic building for the brand. It's a converted old church, and the bell of the church has become the symbol of Kabana. In fact, the name Kabana actually means bell in Greek. I felt like a VIP the moment I arrived at the headquarters. Stavros had laid out all of the raw materials that become Kabana pieces. And you could tell how proud he was that the beautiful colours you see in the finished jewellery are literally provided by Mother Nature. These colours are so vivid, it's little wonder you make jewellery out of this.
Isn't it beautiful?
Tell me about the stones, tell me about what you use.
Oh, you know, all the stones overall, they have each one of them its own character.
When you work with jewellery and you have an understanding of the treatments a lot of stones go through to make them beautiful after they come from the earth, you have a real appreciation to see a table of materials like that, where the vibrant colours and the lustre and the shine and the beauty that you see in the finished jewellery is right there in what Mother Nature creates.
You see, all the product that I use is from the sea because I grew up by the sea. I grew up in Greece, and the sea is all around us. The thing about each shell of that has its own character, it has its own personality, and none of them can be repeated twice.
And they still smell like the ocean.
And they still smell like the ocean, and it makes me happy.
Well, let's go see some jewellery being made.
Absolutely, we'll show you all.
I feel like it's so rare today that you can see something being created from nothing. And that's literally what happens at the Kabana factory. We walk into one room and there's an artist literally sketching designs from his imagination. You walk into the next room and they're casting the molds in the metal. And then you walk into the next room and they're taking those beautiful shells from Mother Nature and literally hand cutting the shapes to go into the inlay pieces, hand placing them in, hand grinding them down to make them fit perfectly. And right down to the finishing process and the quality control, there are human hands and human eyes over every single step of this process. You know, Stavros always refers to himself as the conductor of the symphony that is Kabana. So I was surprised that he rolled up his sleeves and got his hands dirty, that he's literally standing behind the grinding wheel and the cutting wheel and creating pieces.
So Carrie, this is the pink mother of pearl shell. So what we are going to do is cut the shell and make a beautiful heart. Now we are going to take the pink mother of pearl and we are going to shape it to inlay it inside the heart. You know what I would like you to do? I would like you to try it.
Me try it?
Yes, I bet you can do it.
Oh, that is not easy. I don't want to ruin it.
No, you're doing very good. You're doing fantastic. Now we are coming to our final stage. We are going to take the pink mother of pearl, right, and we are going to polish it.
Wow.
See, that's beautiful.
What a difference already.
Beautiful.
I have to say, I'm very glad that a lot of his craftsmen have been there for 30 years or more, because it is not as easy as it looks. That I think what the consumer needs to know when they try to understand Kabana is that this is a true craft. From the sketching to the hand making of every element of the piece. Kabana is craft. As much as I loved watching jewellery being made, the highlight of the trip was definitely being invited to Stavros' home for family dinner. His daughter Sophia, his son Nick, and his wife Heidi made me feel like such a part of the family. So if you had to describe in a couple of words what Kabana means to you, what would you say?
Well, Kabana to me means family. It's always been there. You know, it was there when I was born. It's not, honestly, something that I originally thought I was going to be involved in. But as an artist, it became very clear that there was a place for me there.
For me, it's of course family, because that's where I grew up and it's always been a part of my life. And inspiration, you know. It's all of us are always trying to find a new idea or a new way to be inspired.
And how do you think that sense of family and irreverence reflects on the creative process and the end product?
Well, you care about it. When you care about the company you work with and the people that you work with, you want to put your heart into what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think it shows in Kabana.
The impression I left with was that Stavros' greatest legacy is not just the beautiful collection of jewelry, but it's the passion he's instilled in his entire family for everything that he does. Thank you.
Cheers.
Nice to have you here, Carrie.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be
Our
here.
family.
Home and family is obviously so important to Stavros, so it was a privilege to have the opportunity to dig a little deeper within his home and sit down with him and find out really what makes him tick. So I am feeling very at home here after dinner last night, and I helped myself to some of the photographs of your mantle, and I was hoping you could tell me when this was taken. I love this shot.
Oh, long time ago. 42 years ago.
So this is right before, I understand, right before you came to Albuquerque.
This is correct. I met few people there from New Mexico, and I came 72 the summertime to visit them. And I only came for a couple of months, but I never left.
Now, you're one of the few jewelry manufacturers who still creates jewelry in the US. Why is that?
First of all, I have learned my job here.
Right.
I have a commitment to my community, to the people that works, and it was my destiny to be here. Otherwise, what I'm doing here, I could not have done it anywhere. It was perfect. It was magic. The people I met, where I live, it cannot be better than that.
I think our goal in coming to Albuquerque was to understand Stavros and his vision and his ability to create this incredibly successful jewelry company and these beautiful pieces of jewelry, and to create this legacy that he's leaving behind for his family and his Kabana family. And I think what we've realized is that there is no understanding Stavros. He is eccentric and creative and passionate and possibly a little bit crazy, but it's all of those things that have allowed him to create this beautiful collection.